It's all smoke and mirrors. There's nothing to it. Well, why? Why then does Trump break off negotiations on a stimulus last week and throw out these four negligible, negative stimulus executive orders? There's nothing there, you see. Is this just a tactical move by Trump to get the Democrats back to the table? Apparently not, you see. Apparently not, because, boy, there was no movement at all unofficially behind closed doors. I think he's broken off negotiations permanently. And that's purposeful, right? I think that he's really trying to create chaos between now and the election with a purpose. So Congress goes home here now, as of a day or so ago, and there will be no stimulus bill. There will be no, there's just his four bullshit executive orders that are really smoke and mirrors, provide no stimulus to the economy, even if they're implemented, you see. Even if they're implemented. And two of them are illegal. Really. I mean, the payroll tax cut violates the Constitution. And then the unemployment benefits of $300 if the states throw in $100 a week, we're talking about here, right? All of that. Where's he going to get the money for that? Oh, he's going to get the money, reportedly, from the Disaster Relief Fund. In other words, as hurricane season approaches here, he's going to take money from the Hurricane Relief Fund. Now it's only $44 billion. And that will last, even paying out a reduced $300 a week. That will last about 5 weeks, and then it's over, you know. But that's illegal, too, you see. That's illegal because, again, it violates Section 1, Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution that gives the right to spend, to earmark, target where spending appropriations bills will occur. That's only given to the House of Representatives, the power of the purse, only the House of Representatives for a purpose, you know. Because if the executive, the presidency, has the power of the purse to spend, well, what does it need to compromise with Congress for? It doesn't. It will end up ruling individually, separately. And we will no longer have these checks and balances, for sure. And Congress will become an empty vehicle here, politically. And that's where we're moving, you see. Trump has already created the precedent for violating Article 1 when it came to his wall. What did he do? Well, he couldn't get Congress to pay for his wall, so he just transferred money from the Pentagon to pay for his wall. So far, he spent $9.9 billion on that wall. $9.9 billion, and there's more allocated as well. He's going to build his wall, taking money from the Pentagon, and then he replaces the money taken from the Pentagon. Well, how does he do that? Well, the Republican proposal here for the stimulus includes $20 billion more for the Pentagon. Not that the Pentagon is in any economic trouble, right? Or the military-industrial complex building all these weapon systems. Now, that hasn't stopped at all. Yeah. So they'll just take it from one cubby hole and put it in another cubby hole. That's what he's doing. He's bypassing Congress, taking it from money allocated, appropriated, targeted, earmarked by Congress for the Pentagon, taking that and then filling up the hole later. Now he's got that precedent, and it went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court kicked the can down the road, remanded it back to the district court, a federal court or appeals court, I don't know which one, right? And you won't get a decision on that till after the election, which means, Trump saw a green light with the Supreme Court approving, his attack on the Constitution and the House. And he's using it again. Yeah, he's using it again, taking disaster relief funds to pay for his phony unemployment benefits, which is going to last, who knows, if it's even going to be implemented, because the states aren't going to throw in the extra $100, and if they don't, the feds don't throw in the $300. They know all this. They know all this. It's not news. Okay, so we have a break-off. We have a break-off of this negotiations and these 4 phony executive orders. And it's not tactical. In other words, it's not what's designed to get the Democrats back to the table. No, it was designed strategically. Strategically, I believe it was a strategic move, not a tactical move in negotiations. It was strategic, where Trump would take control of the agenda and the chaos, economic deterioration that would follow in the third quarter. He would blame Pelosi and the Democrats. Oh, they wouldn't agree with anything, so I had to take direct action myself and pass these executive orders. He takes control of the agenda, puts his pet proposals in there, and he's in the driver's seat. Oh, this is classic Trump. Classic Trump. You suck your bargaining opponent in as far as you can, get them to reveal their positions, right? Then you break off negotiations and walk away. The art of the deal, you see. I've seen this before. Many years, a union contract negotiator. I've seen this kind of tactic before. And, it's what we call bad faith bargaining in labor management relations. Bad faith. Yeah, you could walk out on strike if your opponent across the table acted that way. Bad faith bargaining. Yeah. And in fact, in past occasions when I, was the negotiating chair, when the employer did that, I immediately walked everybody out on an unfair labor practice strike, where you had to get paid back your lost wages, unlike a regular strike, if you prevailed and you proved it was bad faith bargaining, which we always did. Right? This is bad faith bargaining, but it's a tactic that is really part of a strategy, you see. And the strategy is to sow economic chaos. Right? Well, what does it mean here? Economically, the breakdown and breaking off, and now the collapse, the breakdown. They broke off negotiations. Now negotiations have broken down. And Congress isn't coming back till after Labor Day. So $600 a week is taken out of paychecks for tens of millions of people, at least 14 million people. The average weekly unemployment benefit, when we had these 2 unemployment systems going, the regular state unemployment benefit system, which in some places pays only a couple $100 a week, like in Mississippi, for unemployment benefits. During the pandemic crisis and the CARES Act, that was up to an extra $600 for everybody, and the idea was to get everybody to spend, to try to stimulate the economy. Well, the average was $812 a week, while we had the federal program supplement called the Pandemic Unemployment System, which, by the way, covered workers who weren't getting unemployment benefits through the state system because they were gig workers or independent contractors and so forth. Right? They were the great beneficiaries of the $600. They wouldn't have gotten anything, as well as the state system. The two of them together provided $812 on average a week. Right? Now, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research economists, this is reduced to $257 a week. Yeah, just about $600 benefit taken out of the economy for tens of millions. Well, how much does that amount to? $75 billion a month in less spending. $75 billion direct. Now, that doesn't count what we call the multiplier effect on GDP of that $75 billion. If the $75 billion gets spent, right, and we have a multiplier of 1.5 or 2, let's say, that means the effect on GDP and the economy of that $75 billion is really $150 billion of spending, positive impact on GDP. Well, $75 billion in August for sure, or $150 billion taken out of the economy, and we're going to see that as well for September because they're not coming back till after Labor Day. Yeah. And I don't think he's going to Trump, provide anything in additional unemployment benefits. So we're looking at least $200 billion or more taken out of the U.S. economy in the third quarter in just consumer spending, $200 billion, because of the failure, purposeful, to continue the $600 unemployment benefit. That's a big hit in a short time from the economy, and we'll probably see that repeated September and October, right? It's been estimated that consumer spending will fall by 44%. Those who would have gotten the unemployment benefits will reduce their spending by 44%. We're talking about tens of millions of people. Yeah. Now, how does this tie in with unemployment claims? Well, gosh, I'm getting tired of clarifying the scam that's going on, reporting in the media, including the liberal media, on the level of unemployment. Unemployment claims, new claims are announced every Thursday. Okay, and what do we have? Well, yesterday they announced, unemployment claims went down, only 963,000 here in the past week. 963,000 only. For the first time, it dropped below 1 million for the first time. Well, what they're forgetting and not adding is the more than 1 million more who were filing for claims under the $600 federal supplement unemployment benefit program. They're gone away. So there's no filing by gig workers and independent contract workers and so forth. There's no filing there at all. So they wipe out over 1 million people. They're not filing because the program doesn't exist anymore for them. So, it's been running. When you look at the state program, which is all for 19 consecutive weeks, has been over 1 million new claims every week. And you look at the federal supplement program, the PUC program, which has been over 1 million as well every week for 20 weeks, right? It's been every week, 2 million new unemployed filing for benefits. And of course, that's only those filing for benefits. There's always more people who don't even file for benefits, or they're having trouble getting the benefits. 20 consecutive weeks of 2 million plus people. And then back in March, it was like almost 7 million in 1 week. We still have 30, 40 million people unemployed in this country. And it will take at least a half decade, maybe more, for those jobs to come back. Some will never come back because what we're seeing is a lot of small businesses just going under, closing their doors for good. Those jobs will never come back. And structurally, things will change dramatically in terms of investment and consumer spending. Certain industries will never come back to what they were. The airline industry will never come back to where it was. Entertainment, travel, no. Hospitality, no. Never come back to a levels and where it was. So unemployment is going to drag on for a long time at very high levels.